When the world has become a desert, dry and lifeless, and justice seems to be a mirage, visible from afar but impossible to reach, this story from a desert gives me a ray of hope. The story which caught my attention is from 2014 in eastern province of Saudi Arabia, an area known as Qatif. Some people were digging a land for some construction purpose. They came across few pieces of bone. They thought it might be of an animal and they continued digging up. Then they came across some gold rings with names inscripted on it and some ID cards. Then they called the police. The police came and secured whole of the area, and the digging was continued, and they came across multiple pieces of bones, and they concluded that this is 5 human skeletons. On further investigation, it was found that 5 Indian expatriates were missing since 2010, and already complaint was there in the police station, but the file was closed because they could not get any lead into it. So the files were reopened, and it was concluded that these 5 skeletons actually belongs to these 5 Indian expatriates who disappeared in 2010. Multiple arrests were done, and finally 3 Saudis were arrested for this heinous crime. The 3 Saudis confessed to their crime, and the reason of committing this crime was one among the 5 expatriates had in past molested one of the females who was related to one of the Saudis. The other part of the story which makes it more barbaric was all these 5 were buried alive. The case goes into the court, and the court decided that these 3 Saudis will be executed, and they were beheaded in 2018. So within 4 years, the justice was delivered in the form of execution of these 3 Saudis. Now, just for the sake of discussion, let's just reverse the case scenario, and let's imagine this had happened into your country. How would you have reacted? Right from the media houses to the social media to the judges and the police station, everybody would have run a campaign to save your citizens, citing a reason that one of them has molested and he deserves this sentence. And we would have run a campaign to decrease the sentence. Even if the court grants a death sentence or a harsher punishment, we would have run a campaign from the social media that let us release these citizens. They have committed this crime under anger, under frustration. This would have happened into your country. So that is why whenever I come across a story of injustice, this story comes into my mind, setting up a great example of justice, where justice was delivered in the form of execution of 3 Saudis for a crime which was committed 4 years back, and even the police has closed all these files because they could not get any lead into the disappearance of these 5 Indian expatriates. Just think about this. Can we achieve such a level of justice into our nation? And once we achieve this level of justice, I am very sure our society becomes a peaceful, prosperous society. Otherwise, if justice is not there into a society, the society goes into anarchy ultimately. Whenever you come across any story of injustice in any part of the world, please share this story with them. This story is a ray of hope for all the oppressed and suppressed society of the world. Thank you.